Hey everybody, welcome. This is WareGames, and we are going to be playing the 1995, I guess, version 3.0 of Sid Meier's Colonization. It's fast-paced action in the new world. If you were a fan of Civ 2, you're gonna love this game. Or you would have, 20 or 30 years ago, for sure. I guess only 20 some odd years ago. Anyways, so we're gonna play a bit of that today. Is what I think we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna customize this new world. I want a nice big land mass with some continents. I want the temperature to be temperate. I want the climate to be normal. I got this game from GOG, by the way, GOG.com. There's probably other places you can get it. It's really fun. I really dig it. It's a good builder. Well, not really a builder, I guess, but it's kind of in the same vein as a civilization, that kind of thing, where you're creating a civilization, a society. We're going to play on the easy level just for you guys today. And personally, I prefer to play as the Dutch. It's just me. You don't need to. And then we get to give our explorer a name, and I think today he will be called Wary Mc. Oh no, he's Dutch, so Wary Van Ware Inc. That's kind of Dutchy, isn't it? No offense to the Dutch. I'm not a anti-Dutch by any means. We're just kind of quickly zipping through the screens here, but basically it's just telling us that we're going to go in search of a new world. It's based on 1492, very sort of Columbus-y. And so yeah, we're going to go and we're going to do some exploring in the new world. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to meet some other civilizations, and we're going to meet some natives. And there's a lot of different strategies in this game. You can choose to get along with the natives, or you can choose to attack them, that kind of thing. I've never been a big fan of the attacking way of doing things. It's tricky to pull off. You get a lot of money if you could do it, but it's tricky to pull off. I prefer to try to get along as much as possible. Now the other Europeans, forget it. They're toast. Alright, so we start with a merchantman ship, which can move 5 squares per turn. Gives us our nice little grid location here. And we have both a veteran soldier and a pioneer. Well, he's really just a person who's happened to be carrying some tools. He's not a hardy pioneer. So most levels there's experts at things, and then you can just have people do things. As we move across the screen, we found a fish. And so then we know that there's land not far away if there's fish. And we've discovered the new world, and we have to name the new world. Let's call it New Newland. Yeah, I like that. Alright. So, since I played this a number of times, I'll probably be kind of quickly moving through screens and that, so apologies in advance if stuff doesn't make a ton of sense, but... So once we hit the land, we're going to make landfall, and we're going to meet the natives. And so this is the Cherokee tribe. They have 12 villages, and they want to know if we'll be buddies. And it would be silly for us to do anything but that at this point. And we have, that was like a rumor sighting, and so we've checked it out, and there was nothing there. Sometimes there'll be lots of gold or a survivor. So now our merchantman is going to kind of wander around and see if we can find a good place to start our first settlement here. You really want to kind of get a place that's got some good resources around it. But what you don't want is to be right on top of one of the native settlements, because that's just going to cause you nothing but trouble in the long run. So this spot is not bad where the soldiery is. This is a bad spot because there's a native village right there. We could use the pelts from the beaver here. Be nicer if we could go right here. This would be actually a pretty decent spot because of the fish there. Although, now that we've got a river on this side, that might be a good idea too. We're just kind of looking around at this point. And the Iroquois want to know if we'll be friends with them. And yes, we will. So we've made buddies with them, and our merchantman gets another turn. The other sort of issue that we might run into here is that we might actually be on an island as opposed to the mainland, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it's really not optimal for building a giant society. So we're already kind of behind the 8 ball because we haven't yet created our first town, but I'm kind of glad we haven't, because this is a very small island and not one that I think we want to be on. So we're gonna get everybody back on board the ship, and we'll just move on. So you can see there's another bit of land just back here. So we're going to go there. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be going so quickly. Missing all those fun messages. So that message was just telling us that there's more settlers that wish to come to the new world, so we can go send our merchantmen back and pick up some new people. So we will do that shortly. We just need to find that good spot. Sorry guys, I'm being very indecisive today. So let's just land our guys here. And we're going to send the merchantmen back. Sometimes you can get lucky and there's a little bit of the deep sea stream right there, but it looks like it's going to be a bit of a long run for us to get back. So there you go. We have happened on some desperate survivors of a former colony, so we have yet one more person now that we can put to work. And then what you can do with the unskilled colonists is you can send them to the native villages and they will learn a trade, so I'm going to do that. The soldiers actually found a really good place, a decent place to set our first society, or our first town. So we're going to do that. But not with the soldier, we're going to get this guy to do that. And there's the French, you can see, so yet another island over there. And the French are settling that one. So our soldiers can explore a little bit more around here. And we're going to send this guy back to Europe. And I'm just going to keep looking around. Well, that's not a bad spot either. There's a lot of ore right there to be had. We're just getting ready to build one here because there's a bunch of minerals, a bunch of ore around here. But yet, over there, there's even more. So maybe we'll just continue to be indecisive and never actually start our first town. And so our people are going to live among the natives. This is the people that we found, and they're saying that they can turn him into a master fisherman. And so we'll say, yeah, let's do that. That's great. So you can see now he has become a fisherman. And now we're back in Amsterdam, back in the new world. Sorry, the old world. And we have a scout. They have given us a scout for free. That's a very handy unit early in the game. And then we can also recruit new units. You can see we have 1,000 gold. We started with 1,000 gold. We haven't made anything yet because we haven't, of course, created a town. So we can choose. We can have a master carpenter or an expert farmer. I think master carpenter is a good one as well as an expert farmer. So we're going to buy both of those, which will still leave us 700 gold. We could even get another free colonist if we want. And we'll do that just for fun because we got such a late start that we need to get moving here. And by late start, of course, the other civilizations are busy creating cities and towns everywhere right now, and so we kind of want to try to keep up with them if we can. And this is the spot that we're going to build our next. Oops. Have to wait till we actually have the cursor back. But so I think that what we'll do... we found the Fountain of Youth. Sorry, it's all happening very quickly here. So this is one of the cool special things that happen. So the rumors fly in Europe, the immigrants line the docks to seek perpetual youth in the new world. And what it's going to do is it's going to give us a bunch of free people now. So we'll take the Master Carpenter, and then it resets and gives us more choices. We'll take an Expert Fisherman. We'll take an Elder Statesman. Another Seasoned Scout. And now we have kind of crappy choices. Indentured Servants kind of work at a lesser rate than everybody else, so we'll take a free colonist instead. And so you can see that was replaced with another indentured servant. So we're just kind of trying to hope to get all the good ones before we get 3 indentured servants here. Hardy Pioneers is great because they have tools and they're fast at using them. So now we've got all these extra people, so we can send the merchantmen back once we've sort of offloaded these people here. We will send the merchantmen back to get more people to bring to Europe, so we can sort of streamline our process. And there's the Tupi tribe, 9 camps, and we've made friends with them. And look, there's some sugar cane over here. Oh, that's a good place to put a village as well. This game's just taunting me. Oh, I'll put one here. No, it's going to be used. But no, that's it. We've made up our mind. So what I'm going to do, rather than actually just build the town here, is I'm going to delay even further. I'm going to plow that land right underneath where that town's going to be, because then it'll kind of pay off more for us. And we can build our second city not too far away, which is kind of cool. So the prices will change on things, kind of rise up and down. Usually it's more affected by what you are selling back to them. In this case, we are selling nothing back yet. But they do sort of vary from time to time. This is fun. I've never had to explain colonization to anyone before. I've been playing this game since it came out. Not regularly, but every once in a while, because it's fun and it's very replayable for a while. I'll play it for a month or two, and then I'll come back to it again later. So we're going to land some people here. Okay. So we'll land a couple of people for each town. And then we're going to send our buddy in the merchantman back to get even more people. These guys all the natives are going to get kind of freaked out a little bit here because there's a lot of us moving in a hurry. So our scouts are a special unit because not only they have horses and they can move faster, but they can go into the towns. See, we've gone into the camps of the Tupi, and we can speak to the chief. And so they'll tell us about that village. So this one, if we were to send someone here, he would become a master sugar planter. And if we want to trade with them, they would really like rum, and that they will also pay well for horses or cigars. And now they will tell us about nearby lands, which is kind of cool because, boom, it just opens up a bunch of the map for us so we can see what's kind of around us here. So we're going to set one city up there, which means these 9 squares will be in play. And so if we build here, then it's going to overlap on that mountain. We don't want to do that. But if we build here, we're going to have quite a bit of sea. That's okay. That's what we're going to do. So New Amsterdam, our first colony. Hooray! Everybody's cheering. They've got these cool little woodcut things every time you build a new village. And the music's kind of fun. It's like this, old-timey music, and it changes style every once in a while. So we're here in the colony screen. There's a lot of info on the screens here. You can read it when you're playing yourself, but basically the gist of it is that this is the town screen. As you have extra colonists, you'll put them in these buildings or in front of these buildings to show that they're working in those buildings. Right now we've only got one guy. The game has automatically made him a sugar planter. We don't really need a sugar planter at the moment. We'd much rather have him be a carpenter. Now, of course, there's no one to cut trees for him yet, but we're going to rectify that almost immediately. So I'm going to send this guy over to this camp because he's unskilled and he can become a master planter, sugar planter. And we're going to send a couple of these other people over to these towns. Okay, so the next thing that happens in the game, much like we have scientific advances and that kind of thing in Civilization, which is also by Sid Meier, in this game you have members of the Continental Congress. And so we have a choice between these 5 people, and each of them have their own special bonus that they'll give to you. So I know for a fact that Peter Minuit gives you the ability to use the land around your towns. If there's a Indian village right next to your land, sometimes they'll claim that land and you'll have to buy the land off them. Once you have him, you no longer have to do that. Sieur de la Salle, once you get 3 people in a town, it automatically builds a stockade around the town. So you get like the first level of city walls, if you want to call it that. Cortez, I believe, makes it better for when you're Oh, I'm trying to think. He's either the one where you no longer get negative lost rumor sightings. Sometimes there are negative things that can happen. I think that's what it is. And I don't remember everyone here, so apparently if we hit F1, it will tell us more about. There you go. And that's exactly what the bonus is. So if we clicked on Cortez, we could hit F1. When he joins Congress, conquered native settlements yield greater treasure, and the king's galleons will transport them free of charge. So we're not planning on doing a lot of that, so it won't be very helpful to us. Thomas Paine, Liberty Bell production in all colonies is increased by the current tax rate. That's pretty handy. A bit later in the game, but we're going to pick Minuet to start with, though. This is just a message telling us we don't have any lumber. Remember, we set up our carpenter. He needs lumber. No one is cutting any trees for him right now, so. But we knew that. So we're going to send our soldier back to town, and we're going to let our scout take over the duties of looking around. This fisherman, actually, you know what? We're going to move the fisherman back to the other town because there's way more fishing to be done there instead of here, though we need a few people to live in that town as well. We've got lots of people waiting at the docks for us. What we don't have is any money yet. Any income of any kind. So there's a couple ways we can earn money. The biggest way, of course, is by selling goods back to Europe, but also the scout can generate some when he goes into the towns and what have you, so maybe he'll do that for us. Yay, we have new colonists. So now you can see what I was talking about before. The natives have claimed these 2 squares, so if we were to try to put someone on that square, it would say, that's our land. And we can either say, yeah, okay, you're right, or we can offer them money for the land, or we can just try to take it. If we just try to take it, of course, that's going to enrage them, as it would. So we're going to set this guy's a farmer, so he generates more food. So we can set him in a couple places, and if we click on him, it'll show him that he's actually producing as much food as he's capable of producing right now. So we still have no lumber coming in yet. But maybe we'll make this planter cut some trees down for us. And the Spanish have found 400 units worth of treasure, gold pieces if you will. Spanish tend to do a lot of conquering and looting of especially the Inca and Aztecs. So we are going to try not to do that. As I said, that's just a choice. You could choose not to. Alright, so onward and upward. So we found nothing but rumors at that particular site. Sometimes there's good things. As you see, we found the Fountain of Youth fairly early in this game, which was kind of nice. And sometimes there's treasure and what have you. So now the choice is, do we go all the way up here because there's a lost rumor sighting up there, or do we go down here and see what's what? Oh, we found the Pacific. There you go. So this is as far west as there is land on this side, so it's a pretty skinny world. Although this is a very nice spot to build a city in. There's some wood and there's some cotton right there. So if there's a way to get to this from the south, we might want to consider doing that. Now we brought our 4th guy here, so we could try to buy this land off the natives, but we've got Minuet coming. We know we've got him coming. So what we might do for now is start creating some Liberty Bells, which will help turn people to our side, make them rebels, which we're going to need to do later in the game. So we can do that for now. You can see now we've got so many people in town and only one guy's producing food. We've got 4 food naturally from the center square, and then we've got 4 more that the farmer's creating, so we've got 8, but we're eating 10, so in 5 turns we're going to be out of food, so we're going to have to correct that in a hurry here. And sorry, I shouldn't have closed that. To pop back over to New Amsterdam for a second here. So we're building the docks right now, and the idea would be to try to have the docks built before we run out of food. And if not, we're going to have to start creating more food, or kick somebody out of town for a few days, which was probably what will end up happening. So now we've managed to plow this spot once here. We might just do it again, just to get a good spot to start from. The beginning stages take quite a while. There's a lot of turns to be had. Look at all these are all the Fountain of Youth guys that we had. So I'm going to tell these guys don't get on the next ship because they're the unskilled guys, and I'd rather have some skilled dudes coming with me right away, and we'll come back for those other guys. See, we've only got 6 food left. So the game's warning me. Don't mess around, dude. Found another lost sighting down there, so we'll visit that next turn when he has a chance. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this guy colonist. See, we've taken him out of the town, and now we're using exactly as much food as we create. We no longer have a... Okay, so here you go. We have a choice to make. We've happened upon some strange burial mounds. We can search for the treasure, or we can stay clear of them. So if we search for them, we could get a treasure, which is great. Or we might find nothing. But if we do search for the treasure, it might also enrage the natives, and that happens from time to time. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's live large. There, look at that. We found 4,400 units, and it's going to take a galleon to get the treasure back to Europe. And it doesn't look like we enraged anyone, which is awesome. So here's a little trick for you, boys and girls. We need a galleon. And the only way that you can get the treasure delivered is either to buy a galleon or to deliver it to a city. Now, our closest city right now, our closest town, is way up there. We don't really want to take that treasure all the way up there because sometimes the natives will attack it. But this guy's on the ocean right now, you see. So if we build a city, we'll call it Fort Orange. Okay, so the scout has built a city. And now we're going to move the treasure into the city, and instantly... since we don't have a galleon, the crown will move it for us. Of course, they're going to take their proper share of it. So they took 50% of it, which really sucks, but it's money we wouldn't have had otherwise, and we wouldn't have been able to afford a galleon because they cost 3,000. So at this point, it was probably the wisest move. Just before I forget, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to turn him back into a scout. We're going to abandon this fort like it was never there. So we created a temporary city just to get that extra money. It was worth 2,200 gold pieces, though. It was brilliant tactical planning, I would say. I was just going to move this guy down here, but of course they have sugar there. We don't need sugar at the other place. So we just got Minuet for our Continental Congress. So that's kind of fun. And we found the Inca Nation. They have alpacas and hills. And they have 15 cities. That's a big nation, and we're going to be friends with them because they're tough guys. And hopefully the Spanish won't find them and destroy them all. So we have more choices as to who we would like to have. Again, we can check and see what each of them does. Cortez. Okay, sure. So here we go. We're going to bring our guys back. Now we've got 4 more people. The trick now is we don't want to just keep overloading our cities. Sorry, I'm doing 2 things at once here. So the scout is going to go and check out this town. They have expert farmers, trade goods, rum, tobacco. And look, they gave us 448 gold. That's awesome. So sorry, what I was about to say was... Oh, look, there's the Spanish. So we've got 4 new people coming in on this boat. But we've already got 4 people in New Amsterdam. You can see now, because we have Minuet, those are open and available to us. So we'll actually get this guy. Look at that, 14 lumber. He was doing 4 over here. Now he's doing 14, which is brilliant. And then we've got a place for our planter to do some planting. And once these docks are done, then we can take our fisherman and he can fish. So this town's going to be spiking pretty quick. But we don't really want to dump another 4 people in there right now. That's not going to get us anywhere. So probably what we'd more likely do is maybe build another town right here where we got both silver and furs. That's all I was going to say before I lost my train of thought. So we're going to continue to visit. Look at that. 2,300 worth of beads. Very valuable beads. That was worth as much as the galleon we sent back a minute ago. So now we got 5,400 gold. So really what we could do, if we wanted, we could go back to Europe. We could buy a galleon at this point. Which, sure, why not? And so now we've got these 4 guys. We could train. So you can also train as opposed to just randomly getting someone. You can train a specific type of person. Some of the ones I like to train a lot would be the Hardy Pioneers. They're 1,200 gold, which is a lot. But they're fast at building things. And then the other thing we can do, because there's 6 slots on the ship, is we could tell these guys to board. They can now board the next ship. And we can also arm them with tools. Equip them with tools, sorry. Or we could even equip them with muskets and horses, so we could turn them into soldiers, or we could turn them into workers. I'm more of a worker guy than a soldier guy, but this game will punish you pretty fast if you don't at least have some people working your stuff for you. We're not going to bring this guy into the town yet because we still have that food issue going on, which will resolve itself as soon as we have those docks built. So there's one thing this game does really well is there's a lot of growth issues. You can't grow too fast. If you try to grow too fast, you kind of get punished for it. So we're going to have our guys land right here. And we're going to send our merchantmen back. Actually, you know what we really should do is check and see. Since this is the Pacific Ocean, is so close, we can also get back to the New World via the Pacific. So what we could do is we could get this merchantman to actually check the other side and see if there's a quicker route back that way. So now our pioneer here, remember way back we started getting him to plow this land? So we're going to get him to build the town here. This is called Fort Nassau. And you can see because we plowed it, we actually have 6 food, so this is a great spot that we started with right there. So now we have our second town, and we're actually about to create our third. Though not with this guy, because he's going to New Amsterdam. So, and not with this guy, because he's going scouting. So this carpenter here is going to create New Holland, so this is our third town. And you can see that there's lots of stuff to be had here. He's already setting up mining some silver, so we're actually going to be able to bring in some income from stuff. And we'll get our expert pioneers to build some roads between these towns now, because that'll be a good thing to have. And we continue to scope stuff out, and we're going to bring in all of our new guys here to our new towns. So now we've got 3. We went from 0 to 3 towns in a big hurry. And the French... Oh, the French have a 4,000 gold piece treasure coming back. And there's our docks. Okay, so our first town is created. Our first thing, we've got our docks. So the first thing we'll do is we'll change. So we're going to build something else. We're going to build a lumber mill, which will allow the carpenter to get more hammers, which means he can build things faster for us. And the other thing, at the risk of losing our Liberty Bells, we're going to put our fisherman into the water. So you can see he is now bringing in 7 food by himself. So we've got a huge surplus of food, which is great. So now we can bring in our other people to our town that we were holding off bringing in because they would starve us if we did that. And I'm setting up these scouts to just look for stuff and find stuff. Okay, we're going to build a road. Just hit the letter R to build a road. It's very simple. Our scout has gone to another Inca village, and they're going to tell us about nearby lands. So they never tell you about the ocean squares, but they will always tell you about the land right up to the ocean squares. And what I mean by that, I will show you in a second. This game is really good at taking the focus away from where you want it to be. Sorry, what I was just saying was, we can pretty much guarantee that these are ocean squares because they did not show us what they were. and that this is a lake. That's all I meant. Alright, so our merchantmen, what we're hoping here is that we can go around the horn here somehow. And we'll see if that's true or not. But look, we found 2 more sightings here. Nothing but rumors. There's a bit of a bug in one version of this game where you can just get nothing but rumors all day long until you reload. I'm not going to do that right now, but if that does happen to you, you could try reloading. I have a feeling this is going to be just continent straight up for us. So it's already striking me that it's going to take longer to go that way, so we'll probably bring that merchantman back pretty quickly. And here is our galleon. So we're just going to bring him right in so the boat can go right into the town, whether there's a dock or not. The dock is more just for fishing. So you can see here we've got a bunch of people in the town already. We can set up our carpenter. We can ask this guy to get some lumber for us. There's no lumber there. There's a rainforest there, so now he's bringing in some lumber for us. And if we unload these tools, we're going to lose them. You can see that they're red. It means we're going to lose them if we leave them there. So we could actually put them back on the boat for now. And then these other 2 guys are going to go and do pioneering kind of stuff. So what we'll get them to do is build a road between our 2 towns. And we might send that other fisherman to New Amsterdam because we can use him there because we have a dock. Such fun music. So yeah, like I said, I think this is already way too far to go, so we've wasted a huge amount of time, and we'll waste even more trying to get him back to Europe, but such is life. And now this guy's an elder statesman, so he creates lots of Liberty Bells, so we're going to put him in charge of doing that, and we're going to put this guy in charge of planting sugar. Look at that, 14 sugar, because he's a master sugar planter. As you remember, he can bring in a lot of sugar, which will turn into rum very shortly. This pioneer, we're going to get him to plow the land here so it becomes better land for feeding people. We are going to build a road across there. It's moving fast. And we're going to go talk to these guys. Oh, we've already talked to those guys because they didn't tell us anything other than, hey, welcome. The other thing we could do is we could go and we could take our galleon and stop in and see if we've got any stuff worth bringing back to the New World to sell. It's all sort of raw materials right now. We haven't built any or made any crafts or materials yet. And there we found another colonist, just as we did much earlier in the game. So we have an extra guy that we can use to create a town. Now, it's not to our great advantage to do that really far away from everything else. So you've got 8 coats here. The natives would have given us those earlier at some point. And we've got 57 furs. The town's generating furs all by itself just from where it is. And we could even bring the sugar back if we wanted to. We don't really want to. One thing we could do is we could leave 100 of the tools there. And we don't really need to go back yet. I'm going to leave him there for a minute. Now, this guy, we could create a town over here, but I don't think there's much to be gained from doing that. This would be a great place to put because there's so much sugar and so much furs there. It's pretty rare that you see 3 spots like that on the same one. That was a Spanish soldier landing somewhere. I didn't quite see where he landed. Hopefully it wasn't on our patch turf. Nope, he's on the island. One nasty thing this game likes to do is not necessarily attack you, but it'll have units surround your towns. Not even with the intention of attacking you, but just clogging things up, and it's super nasty. And it'll probably happen at some point, so I can show you then. But so if we put another fisherman in here, like, look how much, oh, it's crazy how much food this town has now. That's great. So we're going to keep exploring both north and south. It's really worth it just to get those lost sighting dealies. We will keep exploring. They showed us the new lands, but we already knew where everything was, so we didn't gain anything there necessarily. There's a distinct disadvantage to having a town that isn't on the ocean, in that we have to move everything using wagon trains. That's a bit of a pain, but up until the point where we get custom houses, in which case we don't have to do anymore. Oh, look at that! So we found one of the 7 cities and 4,700, and so now we can actually bring that back to one of our towns, and we can use our own galleon to bring it back. Though I'm not sure if at this point we might be able to have the Dutch do that for us at no cost to ourselves. We shall see. Now sometimes we have to be careful. I wasn't careful here. Sometimes the natives will attack the cargo. And so we might lose that if we're not careful. So now we have to decide. They want to raise the tax rate by 1%. Currently it's 1%. So if we kiss the pinky ring, that means that we agree and it will go up. And we just suffer. Or we can have the tools party, New Amsterdam tools parties like the Boston Tea Party, where we throw 100 tons of tools into the water. So we lose 100 tons of tools, but the rate doesn't go up. It also means we can't ever trade that thing again until there's one event that could change that, but for much longer. Right now, it's not worth it. We're going to kiss the pinky. We're just going to take it. So, continue exploring up in the north. We're going to build a road here. This guy is going to continue exploring in the south. Our galleon is going to stay right here. He's going to dump off these 60 tools. But he's going to stay right here in case we need him to bring that cargo back. And also because we have nothing that we need to bring back to the New World just yet. So, we're clipping along pretty good. We have, free indentured servants if we want them. And this will come up from time to time. So now New Amsterdam has 10% of the Sons of Liberty membership. So that's like the rebels, right? So that because we have our elder statesman there, he's convincing more people to join our cause. So that will continue to go up. Once you hit 50%, you get a bonus to your production. Once you hit 100%, you get a big bonus to your production. That's not going to happen for a little bit yet. So now we have a field that's been plowed here, and you can see our guy is now bringing in even more food as a result of that. We have to be careful that we don't knock down, say, the forests, but we do want to kind of plow a lot of this land because especially the desert's not going to actually give us a lot in the way of food. So we're going to book over this way with our scout. This guy, we have to decide now whether we want to build a town right there. The other thing we could do is we could build the town here, assuming that this is all the coast, and then he'd be on the ocean. You'd lose that extra bit of sugar, but I don't think that's a huge deal. Or we could come to this side and have those two things. Or we could not bother building a town over here. But let's do it. You know what? What the heck? And we're going to bring our treasure, try to get that treasure home. I mean, we could use the 2 sugar, but really, once you hit a certain level of production, you're not doing better than that, and the price is going to drop like a rock if you start supplying too much of it. You'd be putting too much production in. Okay, so you can see we've built our lumber mill, so now our carpenter can make 12 hammers per turn. So we actually have a surplus of 2 because we're creating so much lumber. But we can build things faster now. So you can see some things also take tools to build. So up till now we've only used things that take hammers to build, and that's okay. So I think the next thing we're going to put in here is a printing press and then a school. It should probably be the other way around, but that's how it goes. Now, do we search the treasure? Oh, we found one. Hooray! So this, because that one's so far away, I'll do that little dealie that I did before. So up here we've got our road that connects the two, and that road's going to be completed shortly. I'm going to cut back over here, and I'm going to plow some of that land around that other town so that it's more fertile. More fertile. This is Vlissingen. This is our new town, and you can tell that this is in fact the ocean. Not only because it says ocean, but if it wasn't the ocean, it would have told us that this might not be the best place to build a town. Are you sure you want to do that? And now we've got one more place that we can build a road to. Odds are we're not going to use that road a lot, but what are you going to do? Now Cortez has joined our Congress, and there you go. The King's Galleons will transport free of charge, so even though we waited all that time, we don't really need that galleon there anymore. So this guy's going to build a town, Curacao, and I'm going to figure out what we need, where we need to go with the rest of these guys, but let's bring... Buddy here's going to do some planting, I think. So we're already farming in that rainforest. But maybe what we'll do is we'll plant here, and we'll get our farmer to farm there. So that when that's plowed, he'll automatically get a bonus from that. So there you go, 1% is what it's going to cost us, and we will say, go ahead and take your rightful share. So out of 3,400, we got most of it, 3,366. That's awesome. And then we'll just disband that town like we did before. Easy peasy. We're almost done doing all the exploring that we can here, and our merchantman has returned. So at this point, we can check and see. There's always a chance that there's going to be somebody decent. So look at that, fishermen, ore miners. Oh yeah, we're scoring. And the other thing we can purchase is artillery, so we can bring in a gun. And that kind of helps if anybody tries to attack the town or defending when the bad guys show up. It's good to have a little bit of firepower behind you, because otherwise they'll just try to roll right over you and go to war with you because they think you're weak. They think you're weak. All right. So we're getting set up. We're feeling good about things here. Price of trade goods is pretty cheap. We haven't even thought about doing any trading yet. We didn't mean to try to attack the Incas. It's just that we ran into the square that Inca guy happened to be standing in. And there you go. And we get another treasure. Holy. See, we're just rolling in the bucks now. So we still don't have very much set up in the way of towns. We're not really an economic powerhouse by any means. I'm going to disband this town because it's no good to us up there. And it's certainly not where we would have built a town if we had wanted to. There's some silver close by, but it wouldn't be within the range of what we were trying to do there. So we're going to bring this boatload of guys in. Chief. Oh, he just gave us more money. Just have money, guys. So we've got lots of cash now, which is good. Get to a point where you've got enough cash that they'll offer you troops if you want, or you could use it to buy privateers and start attacking other people's shipping lanes, that kind of thing. We're finished building our printing press. As you can see, we got more Liberty Bells happening there. So I think the next thing that we will do is put a schoolhouse in. Then what the schoolhouse you can use, you can train those untrained people. You can train them to be a bunch of different, the different professions, whatever you have in town. Certain things you need the college or the university for, but things like farming and fishing you can do with just a schoolhouse. So that's kind of fun. Nothing but rumors. So this has not yet been plowed. We will plow that. And we've actually explored everything up there. We know that already, so we'll just bring this guy all the way back. Take him a few turns to get back. And that's okay. So we're at, what, 4 towns? 5 towns? Fort NASA now has docks. I mean, we've only got the one spot for them, but so there's 5 and only 4 in the ocean, so that's okay. We might need some food here because there's lots of desert in this town. So next we're going to do a lumber mill just like we did in the other town. There you go, 10% of the population likes the idea of rebelling. Oh, and I sent our merchantman down to the south just to see if there was anything else worth building a city of down there. And also to see how far, whether we can get... actually, never mind, I've answered my own question. We can't get around that horn quickly, so... Okay. And yep, so we're just developing our towns, making them a little better, making them a little stronger. Find out more about our nearby lands. We could really send this galleon back now, even if he's only carrying sort of furs and stuff like that. That's fine. Let's bring in a little bit of cash. Not that we need cash. We're pretty much floating in it right now. What we need is to start developing some stuff and things like... We've got all the sugar, now we need to make some rum. So we can tell that what that sort of area to the south is probably going to end up looking like. It might be worth putting another city down there. So we'll send our boat in to have a look. This is nothing super great there. Our pioneers use all his tools, so he's reverted back to a normal dude. We can go give him more tools and he can become a pioneer again. Or we could just give him a different job if we're done with the road building, etc. Okay. So now we've explored kind of most of this shoreline. We're getting pretty far away from our other cities. I'm not liking anything down there, so we're just going to book back up north. This guy is a pioneer, so we definitely want to keep him as one. And all we need to do is tell him be a pioneer, so you choose his job on here. And on the second screen says pioneer, so he takes the 60 tools we had and we can go back out and it takes 20 tools to build a road or to plow, so he'll use those tools until he's done with those. And our galleon, we'll just get him a little bit closer. Take him a turn or two. All right, we're moving along and singing a song. Kind of discovered everything that there is to discover. Oh, there's a good little inland area right there that we just discovered. There's 2 silver mines and trees, so we might think about putting something in there. And there's also on this side, there's some cotton, which we don't have yet. So that might be a good place to expand to as well, though it's a little bit kind of spread out. Towards the end game, you want to have stuff no more than 3 or 4 squares apart so that you can defend everything properly. But that's a little ways away at this point. So I think that's going to bring us to the end of Chapter 1 here, just because I don't want to keep you all day. If you're enjoying this and you want to watch more of our nation building, you could watch the second part, which I will create for you shortly. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this has been fun, and don't forget, we are WareGames. We really love comments. I know people say that all the time, but we really do love comments. Appreciate any comments you might have about what you liked, what you didn't like, and likes and subscribes. Those are awesome things too. Anyways, thank you oh so much for watching. We're just going to save up here. And thank you very much, and we will talk to you again soon. All right, bye-bye.